Hey, Michael Leckie and Mark Bowden here again with Career Ask Me Anything. And again, if you want to ask us questions, you can go to michaelleckie.com/ask and ask us any questions, or click on any one of the links you're going to see here to go ahead and ask those questions. So here's a question. This comes in from Gail. And Gail said, this is around interviewers who, it appears from what she's asked the question, are neutral or maybe even somewhat intimidating, or maybe she feels intimidated. And it's, how can I tweak my answers or my body language to increase the engagement of that neutral interviewer or relax the intimidating interviewer? So I guess what she's saying is, if I come in and it feels real flat and neutral or kind of intimidating, how can I engage and get a more engaging conversation with this person who's interviewing me, I think, to make her feel better and also to build some connection? Mark, this is your specialty. What would you say?
Yeah, I mean, some of us, but not all human beings, really appreciate that emotional connection with people. And without that, we can feel a little bit lost, a little bit at sea. Why might an interviewer not seek that emotional connection? Could be neurological, could be a personality for them, could be that's the way they and the organization have decided to do in order to get rid of any kind of emotional response and therefore make the wrong emotional decision. So look, what are you going to do because you probably want that connection? Here's what I would say. Make sure that they can see more of you. The more they can see, the more open you are, the more open they might be. They might respond. If you've got somebody very open in front of you, as a human being, it's hard not to mirror that. It's hard not to respond. So lots of open gestures, especially around the navel area, especially open hands. It might open them up just that little bit more. And maybe you want to use a few more kind of emotional words with them as well. Ones that might suggest your excitement or your feelings around the job or the projects or the ideas that are coming across. The more emotional language that you use, the more they're liable to reciprocate unless they're trying really hard not to do that. Michael, what do you got on this one?
I'm not sure that I would even venture to add much more on this when it comes to the power of using body language or how you respond to things when you went first, Mark. But I will say, I love that you highlighted sort of the mirroring piece. That's something that I learned from you, obviously, is really kind of try to reflect some, what they're doing. But I guess if they're, I'm curious, if they're like really back like this, what would you do in that case? Would you want to stick with mirroring, or how would you do if they've got real closed off body language?
No, I want to mirror any body language that they do that's open, and I want to project open body language myself. If they use any emotional words, I want to play those emotional words back at them as well, so that we're reinforcing any body language or language that is more open, more emotional, more connecting.
So if they ask you a question and they use an emotional word and they use it rather kind of flatly, like, I've looked at your thing here and you've done this kind of work. How do you feel about this kind of work? Would you like seize upon feeling and say,
yeah,
how am I feeling about that? Let me tell you how I feel about it. Is that how you would take that word and use it?
And I would name the feeling. I would say, how do I feel about it? I feel excited about this. I feel happy that, you've really noticed that on my CV. So I'm trying to play back this idea of feelings and also name those feelings as well.
Great. And the other thing I heard from you that I just want to kind of pull out again and make sure I really understand was that some people are different. Some people are, much more kind of, appearing closed off, but that's who they are. It could be their personality. It could be, just their kind of own neuroprogramming. And so I think what I heard you say is, don't make a lot of assumptions that they're just like you and that body language is conveying what you would convey if you used it. One of the things I learned from you, and I believe that you really talk about this in your and Tracy Thompson's book, Truth and Lies, you talk about how body language, we make the mistake of thinking it's all about reading the other person, which really it's about using ours. Is that the right way to look at it?
Absolutely. Lead, don't read, I would say. So you want to go into that interview and you want to lead the body language. And as much as your instinct wants to read it, you really want to suspend judgment around that. So I might walk into the interview and, Michael, maybe you as the interviewer, you're being absolutely deadpan with me because, that's what the organization have decided. Now, I can't read your mind. I don't know why you're doing this, but I'm just going to suspend my judgment and go, okay, that's just Michael's behavior. It doesn't mean anything. I mean, it does or it doesn't. I don't know. Here's what I do know. I'm going to be passionate about the work that I bring. I'm going to be excited about this role. And maybe Michael will pick up on that and reflect that back. That's the way I'm going to go about it.
I love that. Lead, don't read, and suspend judgment. I think that kind of sums it up. So again, if you have questions, any questions about career for Career Ask Me Anything, you can submit them here on whatever channel you're watching this on. There should be a comments field, but best place to do it is go to my website, Michael Leckie /ask and ask us anything. Thanks for joining us.